इतना सफर है कुछ होने में और बहुत कुछ होने में। इतना सा फर्क है एक बार सोच के छोड़ देने में और लग के कर दिखाने में। मान लेने में कि जिंदगी ऐसे ही कटेगी और सुबह 4 बजे उठ के सोचने में कि अभी तो बस शुरुआत है। किसी मैगजीन को हाथ में लेने में और उसी मैगजीन के कवर पेज पे होने में इतना सा ही तो फर्क है। वीआईपी सीट में और उसकी पिछली सीट में इतना सा ही तो फर्क है। वो जिसका मैदान ही खुला आसमान है वही कल जमीन पर तो था। पूछोगे तो बताएगा वो पंछी कि एक दायरे में सिमटने में और पूरी दुनिया को दायरा बनाने में बस इतना सा फर्क है। इतना कितना है? इतना है या इतना है? जो नापेगा वो जाने कि जहां धरती और आसमान मिलते हैं, नानकुर से दूर, अगर मगर शायद से दूर, वहां भी दोनों में फर्क बस इतना सा है। धरती और 7वें आसमान में फर्क बस इतना सा है। ये एक अंतर प्रेरणा है। ये हमारी, आपकी, हम सब की अंतर प्रेरणा है। एक कदम, एक छलांग, एक बाजी, एक गहरी सांस और एक ललकार खुली हवाओं में कि हाँ मैं बना हूं उन फिजाओं के लिए, कि हाँ मैं बना हूं उन ऊंचाइयों के लिए जो ऊंची तो बहुत है पर नामुमकिन भी नहीं, क्योंकि मुमकिन और नामुमकिन में बस इतना सा फर्क है। धूप छांव में फर्क बस इतना सा। तो बस चलिए फ्रेंचाइज इंडिया के साथ ये फर्क मिटा देते हैं। फ्रेंचाइज इंडिया, 20 years of ideas.
A very good afternoon to each and everyone who has joined us today for Business Opportunity with Chai webinar series. I, Archana Sharma, along with entire team of Franchise India, welcomes you to this digital representation of new opportunity for each one of you. Franchise India is a platform which is helping all the international and national brands to expand their business with our 80 plus offices. Franchise India is 23 years old business consulting firm which is helping all the investors day in, day out with valid suggestions and feedbacks on a different business opportunities. And we have helped more than 78,000 investors in getting the right business opportunities for themselves and for their families. We always advise each one of you to take conscious and informed decision of selecting the right franchise for you. We welcome management team of Franchise India, Gaurav sir and Sonia ma'am. During the course of the webinar, once we'll complete the correct understanding from the brand side, they will talk about the feedback, suggestions, and industry prospects about with each one of you. The brand which we are representing today is Anan Kids Academy. Yes, the brand which represents the vertical of education, the most important part of anybody's life. And we welcome the entire team of the brand. We welcome Mr. Kanan, Raman and his team to talk about the brand. But before we start the formal presentation for you, we have a group video which will be played for each one of you. Over to you, Raman.
Hello. Hello, friends.
Hi, welcome, sir. Would like to play the video first so that we can get the interaction.
I think if you welcome the entire team at Anand Kids, if we can go quickly in the room and introduce who all has joined, it will be great for our panel to do that. And before they even do, I had an opportunity to personally visit Coimbatore to really see their operations. I normally don't travel, especially in this COVID period, not been traveling, but I took my opportunity to especially go down to Coimbatore and spend a full day with their team. And I should say I have been into the early learning, education and franchising in that, both in the early learning and so in K-12. I have not seen better operations, what they have really done. And this comes from a very strong passion, which Mr. Anand himself brings in. Also, more importantly, a great corporate responsibility, because they're a large corporate based out of Coimbatore and a very respected family. So it was a combination of both. One is passion, and second, I think, bringing a phenomenal amount of corporate responsibility to bring in great education levels. So it's a fully integrated school, from a preschool to a full K-12, and now they're looking for expansion within the region of Coimbatore and subsequently to start with South and so on and so forth. So it will be great if we can just do a formal introduction, because I know your entire team, but it will be great for our audience to also quickly go in the room, introduce everybody, and then we can start with a corporate video.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Kanan Ramchandran, and I'm the correspondent of Anan Kids Academy. We're also into diverse business. We started our history by manufacturing water pumps in India in the brand name Sharp. That was in 1967. And then we started diversifying into IT and various other sectors. Education being one of my passion, that triggered me to start Anan Kids Academy in the year 2009. And we'll just take you through a small presentation, which will give you a much better idea who we are and what we are trying to do. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Hi, I'm Raman. I work along with Mr. Kanan to fulfill all his dreams, especially in the field of education. And we also have the principal.
Hi everyone, good morning. This is Stevenson, the principal of the school. I, along with our correspondent and Mr. Raman and the team, we just ensure that we just reach up our vision based on the passion of our correspondent. Nice meeting you.
Hello, I'm Vinu. I handle the communications part of the group. Right now, focusing more on Anand Kids and its possible deliverables to a greater education perspective. Today, we have a set of presentations which we could share you over a small time frame. We Anand Kids are part of a large corporate house called the Sharp Group. I would like to take you through a small presentation, how Sharp evolved to leading to the development and build-up of Anand schools, which will take a couple of minutes, and then we will get into more detailing of Anand Kids Academy as such. It all started in the year 1967, and we know the whole of India was probably busy reading newspapers and listening to the All India radio. India and China, the troops were busy at the border, clashing each other at the Nathula Cha. But same time, we had four brothers from the village of Kalapatti, Coimbatore: K.K. Ramaswamy, K.K. Ramchandran, K.K. Jagannathan, and K.K. Rajan, the founder members of Sharp Group. They were busy placing cute little boxes in the traders' market of Coimbatore. Here started the birth of Sharp, the first company in India to produce mini monoblock water pumps. And the growth henceforth from 67, right now almost 54 years of time, has been phenomenal and unlimited. Today, we are in the sphere of domestic water pumps, agriculture water pumps, industrial pumps, food-based disposers, agricultural equipments, industrial training institutes, information technology, education services, and of course, noble charitable activities. We have Sharp, Point, Crusher, Info, and Anan as our brands. What makes us different is that as a group, we are highly focused on what business we do. We have been strategically doing diversifications over a period of time of more than 5 decades, creating strong business networks in whatever verticals of business we are involved, and of course, a huge international presence through direct offices and distributors. And what makes us do all this is that the understanding of a strong, fundamentally strong financial management, and the core of it being planned in the ways of ethical and fair business practice. Of the many awards and laurels which we have received, the most important, what we care to and value to, is the receipt of 2 times fair and ethical business practice of the Jamnalal Business Ethical Award. Nationwide, this is what we value the most. And where did we start? Generation 2 member, our current MD, Managing Director, Kanan Ramchandran, after his graduation in engineering here, moves to USA to get his Masters of Engineering. He gets impressed in the fundamental and basics education management system in the international education market. Simple example, why pi r square? What is the origin? Why a plus b the whole square? What is the origin? Where are the applications? These kind of thoughts stimulated inside him, and he decided and prepares himself to launch a basic strong educational model in India, unlike the questionnaire approach where we are used to mug up or by heart formulas and just reproduce in an answer sheet. So this is where he crafted and curated the idea of developing a unique educational model for the Indian market. It all starts with our belief where we find ourselves unique, and thus we laid the foundation stone for a unique education model. We call it Anan. Today we stand to stay together and take Anand places. I'm closing this presentation slide and opening another one for you, where we brief a little bit on the infrastructure of Anand Kids Academy. Of course, what is in a bubble is not what we perceive, but what we see in reality can be bubbled up. We started with Anand Kids Academy. What you see is our front face. The core business model or the educational model is built around multiple creative labs on various subjects. What you see is a creative corner, a home center where you practice habits and etiquettes, a science lab which involves you with both technology and fundamentals. Of course, a health gym powered by dance and music, a multimedia showroom, and a math lab, language lab. There's a 360 virtual degree tour which we want you to take through, which will give a fair idea of what it is.
Anand Kids Academy is my home away from home. Here I get to play, learn, make friends, share, care, and grow up happily. It is here that I am welcomed every morning with a cheerful smile by my teachers. My day at school begins for a journey through the different labs.
Of course, there's a lengthy video. I wouldn't want you to waste time right now over here. The whole series of the virtual tour is available on our website, and you're welcome to go through it in detail and to experience live classroom feel as to how you would have done it 30, 40 years back going to schools. But what we see and bring to you is a difference in the ambience, the atmosphere, the infrastructure, and the technology aimed to provide a unique educational experience to the growing kid of our age. I'll close the slide and go to the various branding activities which we have done within the school and the educational items which we use in our everyday life. Every day, every moment, Anand has multiple touch points where the kids, the parents, the faculties, and the ecosystem around us get in touch with our brand Anand. Stationery materials which cover sharpeners, pencils, scales, pencil pouches, etc. are branded from our end and supplied. Notebooks and diaries are branded. Certificates and assessment certificates are also branded in the right way. Uniforms are branded, unlike many schools who are into kindergarten, preschools. We are probably one of the unique institutions who have a uniform approach. The trendy school bags, student IDs are branded, lanyards are branded, staff IDs and lanyards are branded, and a fleet of wonderful transport system. Apart from these software, I'll take you through another short presentation where we brief about school management softwares. 2009, we started Anan educational institutions. And from then, the technology team has been part in developing software which helps ease of operations in our school, both from a parent side, faculty side, investor side. I'll just take you through a few slides which briefs you on what all benefits the software gives to you as a franchisee investor. The administration part of the whole school is controlled from the software. Staff's management, right from their experience, recruitment, everything is planned and executed from the platform. Student management is also done right from their induction to TC management. The fee what you charge is also planned and executed up to receipts. Though financial software, we do apply other softwares to be implemented in the course. Teaching modules are planned and executed through the software system itself. Academics, curriculum management is also managed. Extracurricular activities, whatever is planned, are recorded, and every portion is made easily accessible. The transportation movement is also planned and executed from the software. Inventory, quite a lot we manage every day at the school. These are planned in-house and managed. Circulars, what we send to parents, guidelines to teachers, even reminders through SMS are controlled from the software. That's a short brief on what we do fully. We have a small video which takes you to the brand called Anan Kids Academy and what we promise to the world. I'm sure you have a fair idea about Anand and parent organization Sharp. Thanks for the opportunity for presenting ourselves. We are open now.
Thank you very much. Lovely presentation, and I think it also depicts the values of how the business was built. And let's start with few questions, which is important because I think this is a very rooted foundation, and you spend a lot of time in really not only just following the curriculum which has been given by our regulators, but also developing a lot of your own value system, especially when it comes to early stage learning. And there is a larger investment that has been done for a very long time to really put some standards and processes in place, so that now when you start duplicating your opportunity and passing as a franchisee, it is not only given to somebody as a business opportunity, but also carries the culture and the value system which you have. So we'll start with the first to understand who is the partner we are looking at, where are we looking to expand, and looking at the current situation where large part of schools are shut. And I'm sure there is a one way of looking at as a challenges in the overall education system. Second, responsible and a long-term thinking organizations like your group, I think this can be an opportunity to also really convert some of the existing infrastructure into your brand. So let's start with what is the rollout plan? How are you looking at it, and who's your right profile of franchisee which you do that? And we should also talk about both opportunities. One is somebody who wants to start a new facility, and also second, who wants to convert into Anand Kids. So anybody can answer, and from the team.
So if I can also add, friends, while if we can answer the first set of questions, and we also have some part of the presentation which still needs to be covered. And I think that will help us in taking many of the questions which still remain unanswered. So we can start with this question, and then maybe we can go on to complete the balance part of our presentation with respect to the financial and the business model too.
Sure. So may I invite Mr. Anshul Bansal, who will be presenting the PPT as well as financial for us. Over to you, Anshul.
Thank you very much, Archana. Thank you to the team Anand Kids Academy. It's a wonderful presentation at the start, setting up the group legacy and everything. So we'll now get into the details of Anand Kids Academy as a business model, and what are the opportunities for a franchisee partner to come in. Okay, so on my first slide, so how do we select a preschool franchise for your market? This is what we believe. This is a NAM, DAM, and CAM approach. NAM in the sense the brand name and the legacy that you can associate with the preschool brand, right? So this also links to the ability to pull customers to your center. So that's the NAM part of it. DAM is the price points and the fee structure. In this presentation, next few slides, we'll look at what is the fee structure this Anand Kids Academy wants to operate at, what is the market positioning. As a franchisee, you need to be careful in understanding if that fee structure works in your territory, right? And so that's the DAM part of it. And third is CAM, which is what is the product, what is the teaching methodology, what are the support functions that company would offer to you. So that's the CAM. So that's what I say while evaluating a preschool franchise for your market. This is what three things we need to look at: NAM, DAM, and the CAM, right? And in this presentation, we will address all three aspects and link it to how Anand Kids Academy, is based in these three points, right? So starting with first, the brand deck brand section. This is mostly it's already been covered. So I have few pictures of the center which I'll talk about. Coming from Sharp Pumps and a legacy of over 50 years. So first we have Anand International School, which is the K-12, and some of the pictures from their centers in Coimbatore, right? Then a few more infrastructure pictures: multipurpose hall, computer labs, library, sports arena. So a very well designed layout and a very well done K-12 setup, right? On similar lines, so that's the vision and mission that company has, and this has already been covered by Venu sir earlier. Uh, it's an integrated program, so from a play school to K-12, completely integrated in that sense. So once a kid joins in a play group in Kids Academy, he can then easily move into international K-12s also. So that's the integration company would bring in. Some of the key highlights for Kids Academy, one, of course, the holistic development of the kid across 9 domains, which is physical and gross motors, fine motor, sensory skills, cognitive development, social skills. Also, if I look at in terms of the overall concept, this is skill-based activities program, theme-based learning that we're offering. We also provide extracurricular activities like dance, across Western and classical, yoga, vocal music, and keyboard. So not only that kids is learning ABC 1, 2, 3, they're also getting exposure to various other extracurricular activities, which is very, very important today, right? Workstation style of teaching, uh, uh, another important aspect, and scientific evaluation, as Venu sir mentioned, in terms of how the entire process is structured from their K-12 setup, and also now bringing that into this Kids Academy setup as well. So there is a complete transparency in terms of what is being done, how it is being done, and parents are kept aware of all the developments with the kid, through the course of action, right? Some of the pictures from the, now this is the preschool or the Kids Academy setup, the main entrance, main lobby, then multimedia lab and outdoors. We also have few more pictures in terms of the classroom setup, as you could see in the earlier videos also. So a complete focus on holistic development of the kid, giving him exposure across multiple aspects. And so this is where this is a key highlight of this concept, right? Yeah. Okay. Now, in terms of the overall preschool industry in India, it's a very large, growing and unregulated industry, so to say. Over 40,000 preschools in India, but market still remains vastly underpenetrated. And as the focus for Anand Kids Academy is Coimbatore market and overall Tamil Nadu in phase 1, we believe there is a strong potential for the company to set up a large rollout, right? We're also looking at market is also in transition, where more aware parents now are seeking evolved curriculums and better teaching methodologies. So the entry level preschools are no longer the go-to preschools for more aware parents. They want to get into schools which are better in terms of their structure, their methodologies, their overall processes. So that's where the opportunity is there for Anand, right? We also saw that new education policy favors the growth of industry. We'll talk about it in next few slides. Overall industry, as I said, preschools remain part of non-formal, unregulated segment of education. Currently, about $2.5 billion market. And this is what we see. Sorry. The new education policy, which came up last year, also puts a lot of focus on child skill enhancement and early stage education, which can be up to 3 years at home, and then between 3 to 6 years, the kids should be sent to play schools, stroke preschools. So this has also boosted the demand for a preschool concept, right? So what is the India opportunity for Anand Kids today? Of course, we're focusing on Coimbatore and Tamil Nadu in phase 1, but there are plans to get into other states also within South India, and then of course, look at a pan-India rollout. We'll talk about it. As I said, India is witnessing an exciting times with growing affluence. More aware parents keen to send their kids to play school as early as just when they turn 2 years. So you can start with the play group at 2 years age, and then 2.5 onwards, they get into pre-nursery, nursery, and KG onwards, right? So that is already seen as a trend, right? We're also seeing this caters to upper mid part of the whole demographics. So that segment is also growing very well, and so that presents an opportunity for our franchise partners. We're also witnessing, that new clusters emerging outside of metros and tier one. So not only Chennai or Coimbatore, we also see other markets, and you will see next few slides, Tirupur, Pollachi, and few other cities where we see a strong opportunity for a center to be done. Right. So now we're coming to India winning strategy, how we are placed and what we want to do. In terms of the market position, so at the lower end of the segment, you would see schools like Eurokids, Bachpan, Kidzi, Shamrock, and the likes, which would typically operate about 35,000 rupee annual fee. And at the other end, in South, I think Maple Bear is a very prominent preschool chain, and then Kangaroo Kids, Little Millennium. So in terms of the market positioning, we want to place Anand in between, so higher than Eurokids or Kidsy, but slightly lower than what Maple Bear or a Kangaroo Kid would offer. So in that sense, you are, in terms of the fee points also, we'll come to that. This is slightly premium than what Eurokids or Kidsy would offer, but offers a same experience of what a Maple Bear would do or a Little Millennium School would do, right? The opportunity here is that already schools like Kidsy, Eurokids, Pachpan, Shamrock, and the likes, they've already penetrated in these markets. There's already an acceptance of a preschool concept, right? The parents now are looking at better schools, but not looking at spending too much fee and going to the top best schools in the market, right? So that's where Anand comes in very well placed. I'll come to the fee structure also in the next few slides. So that is the overall structure. We're offering two opportunities here. One is a preschool with daycare, and second could be a standalone preschool, right? So in some markets, daycare may not be feasible to do. So we only want to do a standalone preschool concept, right? Overall, we're looking at preschool annual capacity of about 140 kids, 7 classrooms, 20 students each. And you can see the fee points also. Playgroup, we're looking at 25,000 annual fee. And then there is pre-nursery at 30,000, nursery would be 40,000, and KG would be 42,000. So in terms of the fee also, it is not very expensive, better than what Eurokids or Kidsy would do, but lower than some of the more expensive schools. So as I said at the start of the presentation, this is a very important slide from a franchisee's perspective. You need to see if this fee point works well for your market. And the structure that we're looking at, 2,000 square feet for a standalone preschool, 140 kids capacity, if that can be done achievable in your market, then this is a very good opportunity for you. In terms of the approach now, as I said, Anand already has Anand International K-12 School, so which offers an opportunity to be a hub where other kids academy or preschool setups would then work as spokes, right, which acts as a feeder to the main K-12 school. So that is also one important aspect parents look at while sending the kids to a preschool, that what will happen once this kid is 5.5 years and is ready for class 1, is ready for a K-12, where do I go? So the answer to that is, from an Anand Kids Academy, the student directly gets admission to Anand International K-12, right? And so that becomes very easy for you to get the enrollments because of this linkage, right? And on all the markets that company would plan to do, this is the structure we plan to set up. 1 K-12 followed by 8 to 10 preschools around that center, right? Overall, we're looking at multiple approaches to network development, where of course would be keen to do greenfield projects, which means new unit setups. Mr. Maria mentioned about conversion franchisee, which is existing preschools converting to a better opportunity, converting to Anand Kids Academy. That can happen. And company is also evaluating opportunities for acquisition, which means there is a preschool chain with 3 4 5 centers not able to perform optimally. So we would be keen to look at that acquisition as well. Right. So from a franchisee perspective, greenfield projects, which is a new school setup, and if you're already running a preschool, we would be happy to evaluate and look at a conversion case if that works out mutually for both the parties, right? Overall plan, as I said, staggered rollout plan to sustainably able to capture the overall India opportunity. Phase one focus is to do Coimbatore and nearby markets. Look at Tamil Nadu as an overall opportunity, maximize or so to say optimize the presence in this market first, and then look at other states in South India, Karnataka, Kerala, Andhra Pradesh, and Telangana, and then look at going pan India beyond 3 to 5 years period. Some of the locations, that we see feasible immediately: Tirupur, Salem, Erode, Madurai, Nilgiris, that can be done. Who's the partner profile? So women entrepreneurs have always been good as a franchisee partner for a preschool setup. Their ability to handle, manage, understand kids is very, very important in this case. But needs to have a reasonable financial bandwidth also. The preschools today, the investment goes up about 30 lakh rupees or so in the business model, right? So key support functions that company would offer in terms of pre-opening, so location selection, center setup, your furniture, equipment and everything, procurement, staff selection, training, marketing and enrollment assistance. So that is all pre-opening. While the centers start to operate, we would also bring in a regular trainer program. So your staff is always regularly updated and trained. Consistent marketing support, ensuring enrollments, audit and advisory on efficient operations management. So company will bring its own experience and expertise, gathered over so many years to ensure that your center is also running optimally, right? And extracurricular activities and programs that we want to bring in. So overall, this we've discussed vast India opportunity. So key reasons to partner with Anand Kids Academy is one, of course, vast India opportunity, and this is not only pan India but also the opportunity within Coimbatore and Tamil Nadu to look at it. Brand strength, many years of experience of running K-12 schools under Anan international brand, and well-developed school programs for academy. Two opportunities: preschools and daycare. Fee structure of around 35,000-40,000 rupees, which should be a well accepted fee range for these markets. Customers should be able to look at this 3,000 rupees average monthly payout for a preschool should be well accepted in these markets, right? Franchisee benefits: evolving opportunity in market with mid-segment preschool concept, rightly placed. Two formats to suit every investor's appetite and every market requirement also. Some markets you may want to do preschool then daycare. Some markets only preschool can be done. And significant franchisee support functions that we want to bring in. Right. Apart from that, as I said earlier, greenfield projects, you may want to set up a new unit. Second, if you're running a preschool already, we would be keen to evaluate the opportunities within that setup. So your setup, location and everything. And third, of course, some of the schools that can be acquisition case as well. So that should be all from my end on this presentation. In terms of the fee structures, I'll again come back to that. Playgroup, we're looking at 25,000 annual tuition fee, 30,000 for pre-nursery, 40,000 for nursery classes, and 42,000 is for KG, right, before the kid gets to K-12. The advantages from Kids Academy, the kid directly gets transition and admission into international schools within the group. So that's a very good advantage that company has. On that note, I would like to end the presentation and invite Mr. Maria to take over, please.
Thank you, Anshu. I think a great presentation on how the company is looking to expand. As Anshul said, the expansion largely is in an area where they want to strategically contribute more because it needs a lot of operational, support for the new schools to come in. So essentially, within Coimbatore, there is a great advantage. Brand is strong, very, very strong, and linkage with their K-12 schools. So it can be a huge opportunity. And a lot of other cities within Tamil Nadu, I think, where there is a tremendous amount of opportunity. And opportunities are various. It can be a greenfield project where you do what I call franchisee-owned, franchisee-operated. It can be also an opportunity to convert, which means that you're running either existing school, which you can want to convert that. And if you are even looking at a phased entry to K-12, you can start with a early learning, which is a preschool, and then slowly progress towards building a full K-12 infrastructure. Larger investors or people who have bigger investment appetite can also talk about opportunities on taking on one city, starting with maybe a preschool, building it to a K-12 and adding more preschools, which would become a feeder schools to the major K-12. What they come with is not just about really running the knowledge about running the school. It is also a well-drafted, very well organized, with strong operating manuals, training manuals, systems, and a teaching methodology which is available, which would come to the school. So from a business of education, which means getting kids on board to actually imparting the education and seeing it extremely profitable as a business, to really from a value of education, which means that giving holistic education levels, both are married in the business model. So let's start with a little bit on the profiling. And you also have to see this is backed by Sharp Group, which is one of the most recognized groups of South India. Also, Sharp is also recognized all over India. We all have lived on their pumps and so on and so forth. So it comes with a very strong responsibility that whenever the company is inviting any partner, they also put themselves and their reputation on stake. So it's very important on a partner selection. And partner is very, very important. Who becomes a partner with the company is extremely important. So let's start with in terms of what is the profile which you would prefer coming in. And I also have highest appreciation for Mr. Kanan, because when I went there and the way he runs his business is very collaborative. He takes a decision with everybody. You would not seen that companies where he brings in all stakeholders, and he's educationist, the principal of the school himself, and a lot of other corporate team. They all come together to take a decision, which is very important because they really value that every single decision which is taken for the education has to be well thought through, and very committed team they have. So any remarks you have from the profile of a franchisee which you're looking at?
Gaurav, is it for us?
Yeah, absolutely. Anybody want?
Thanks, Gaurav. Gaurav, actually, we are not looking at this as a big business opportunity, but we want people who really have passion towards education and also take it as a business part. It's not only the business thing what we are trying to do. We really want to make a change in the educational industry in India, and that's the primary objective. So we are looking at partners who have a passion and the business interest too. So that's a thing what we're looking at from us.
Absolutely. So somebody should have more strategic fit. So if I have to go and further elaborate that, just somebody who comes with the same kind of a passion, or somebody has the right infrastructure which can fit into the education. And also if you have some kind of a social responsibility towards building schools, it's very important. Vimal is asking school. Vimal, they've been running a very large school, which is a fully integrated campus, a very large campus around their other industries. So very successful operations. And I've been very impressed on the design of the environment, because education is actually divided into 4 blocks. and one is the environments which you send the kids into. They live that environment. They everything really is important. So every single classroom, every single lab, every single library, every single functional area is Mr. Karan himself has designed, and it has taken a lot of time. So it's a phenomenal work they've done. Nobody would go out there to put that detailing. You can spend a lot of money. That's okay, right? A lot of corporates spend money to create this infrastructure, but when you go there, they don't breathe. When I had an opportunity to visit their school, every single part was really designed that it can create a comfort, especially for younger kids, so that they start loving coming back. The problem in schools is that when you have especially a 4-year-old, if you want to send him to school, he never likes going to school. If you create environments which encourages him to go to himself school, because that's something which is very important. So every single class is designed like that. It is very interactive to you. And especially for a quieter kids, they like to be really do that. So that's one part of the block of the school education. Second block is delivery, which means that the teacher to kids ratio. What is the ratio and how they are really interacting and doing that. Third is the curriculum, which is either inherited. Preschools don't have structured curriculum. K-12 has CBSE and IB boards and so forth. But also how you evolve that curriculum. They give you the foundational part, and how you really evolve that curriculum, that's also important. And finally is the certification, which means that which school which you really get qualified stays with you, because it stays with you for your life. Because when you are grown up and you go back and say, I studied from that school, it's kind of a positioning which you really have in the society. So all the 4 blocks are very, very important, and currently all 4 really qualifies very well for them. So now let's get into the next question in terms of a lot of people really come with a kind of infrastructure which would be required. So what is the minimum square feet would be required when we are looking for a preschool setup? Because that would be the starting point. And especially in this season, if you want to capture, you would like to see some conversions happening. So what is the minimum per square feet required? So anybody can answer from the team.
Gaurav, we are looking at around 2,000 to 2,500 square feet. Primarily, we are planning to incorporate 6 different labs, and at least a minimum of 6 classrooms will be really, really good for the children to take up the kind of methodology what we adopt here. And anything more than that is definitely appreciable. But I think for a 4 classroom model, we have a different business model completely. And for that, I think it should be around 2,000 square feet. Should be.
So 2,000 to 2,500 square feet. Also, you can take some residential place which has some infrastructure available. So you would save out of the civil work you need to do, and each of the rooms can be then converted into different labs which are available. It can be art lab, it can be science, it can be mathematics, it can be. So you can really create those independent labs, and every lab has a certain peculiar identity which they have built over the time. Another thing which you should really know is that everything is centralized, everything is from recognized vendors. So they have school supply vendors, they have furniture vendors, everything would come from there. So as a school, new school owner, you would get everything from architectural drawings to all the supplies, which are one-time supplies for the project, and also from ongoing school supplies, which would all come to you. And then it will be also a lot of training, which would be done at 2 levels. One, the training would be where your team or your staff would be brought to the main center where they would be part of the team and get trained. And second, on-site training, which means when you hire people, they could be done at the site, and this would be also ongoing. Another value addition is very large, is that particularly if you are in Coimbatore or a neighboring city, they are also having a huge brand equity. So it also helps you to do the first 2 cycles of recruitment, because the first 2 cycles of recruitment would get to 30-40% of your occupancy levels. And that is very, very important for any new school owner to start, because once you are on a 40-50% of your occupancy level, then in the 3rd or 4th year, you get to 70-75, and then you hit their peak performance. And that's how the business model really works. So the first 2 years is always very, very critical. So if you are part of something which is close by, it helps you to get that cycle very, very fast. And that's where the opportunity comes in. Sonia, over to you for your set of questions. A lot of questions been asked by the audience also. If you can really do that, like Hina is asking, about the teacher-student ratio, which always not something which is on that. So Mr. Karan, if you want to really talk about student ratio and also talk about the methodology of Montessori. A lot of people really don't know how Montessori needs to be done. So if you can talk about that also, it will be helping. So Hina, Mr. Karan would give you the answer. Over to you, sir.
Anan has a very unique methodology. It doesn't fall under the Montessori system. It doesn't fall under the Playway. But we have created our own methodology. Most of the schools in the world, they follow 7 domains of development, like physical and gross motor, fine motor, cognitive, language. But Anan is one of the pioneers, adding social and emotional development also in that particular thing. And then the entire methodology is based on 9 domains of development. So every lab, we follow these 9 domains, and everything what we do in every lab is purely based on this. And the assessment is again not based on the mark base, but it's based on the individual activities in every domains. How the child is performing in every domain and what exactly are their strengths are, where exactly the parents have to focus on them. Every child has a strength. Every child can't be an engineer. Every child can't be a doctor, but every child has a different strength, and Anand plays a major role in identifying that strength and highlighting that to the parents and working with them together in making them successful in that particular field. That's one of the unique things what we really focus here. So, and it's also incorporated in the outdoor play area too. We also consider all the 9 domains of development, whatever activities we do in the outdoor. And coming back to your question, the teacher to the student ratio, it's around, I think it's around 1:12. That's the target what we have. But currently in our school, we follow a ratio of 1:8. We have a teacher and a co-teacher in every classroom, but looking at the financial responsibility of the franchisees, a co-teacher in every classroom will not be possible. So we are looking at a teacher-student ratio of 1:12.
Great. So that answers Hina your question. So it is they have one of the best in the class teacher-student ratio, which is 12:1, which is very important. And another area which Javed Khan is asking about, a particular city which is called Krishnagiri. It's actually a small city in Tamil Nadu. So would we be open for that location? Is the location large enough for us to hold a school? Any opinion on that?
Javed, actually we are open right now for entire Tamil Nadu, which is, and Krishnagiri is also easily accessible for us right now. And what we see, most of the premium franchisees, they only target the cosmopolitan cities where they can charge, where they can get parents admitting their children with the higher charges. But Anand, we are taking a different route. We are primarily targeting the Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities, where people would like to have a premium preschool at an affordable price. So yes, definitely we are open to Krishnagiri.
And it's a lovely city. It's a lovely city, and so it can be a great opportunity to open up a school there. So over to you, Sonia, for your questions.
Yeah, thank you so much, Kanan. And I would also add today, modern day education has 3 main aspects which determines actually the quality of any education, which is curriculum, learning objectives, even the learning material, and the entire, I would say, the pedagogy or the pedagogic processes which completely integrate. And I see all that, in the business model that you have created. And a few questions, which based on the presentation we saw, and I will try and pick some questions from the audience also. And friends, because I see some hands also raised, if you put your questions would be helpful, we can take up your questions. So my first question would be on the business model. We talked about, certain ratios from, I think there are 3 from playgroup, pre-nursery, nursery and KG. These are 4 classrooms that we have talked about, and we have talked about certain number of students each class. If you give some understanding of, because it's very cyclical and, what time it takes for any school to reach that level of 20 into 2 and, likewise the other classrooms.
So you mean you're looking at the time frame where we can entirely fill the...
Yeah, what is the gestation, because it won't happen the first year. So if you look at that structure of getting, say, those number of students in a classroom, typically how long will it take? Because, we'll have a student in maybe pre and the same student would go to the next class. So it's very cyclical, so it will take some time for a school to come to its, maybe I would say 100% efficiency. So what would be that time frame that should be considered?
Basically, it depends on the city and the location of the franchisee. That makes a big difference. If the location is in a proper residential area where our real target audience is there, then I think probably in 2 years, I think they will be able to fill the entire capacity. So it all depends on the location, and that's the major thing what we are looking at. And we will definitely help the franchisees to identify the right location where they can get the maximum efficiency there.
Okay. And also there's another question, because we are in a blended learning or a hybrid era, even in the education side. So I also saw one of the questions from the audience, Mr. I think Zayed from in the audience who likes to also understand, and I'm sure everybody would like to do that. What is there any kind of focused learning that we're doing on the virtual schooling in these times? And what is your advice to people who would take up a franchise in these times?
Right. And then really, actually, when COVID started, the entire team was completely geared up to take it up right from the day one. The team was, because we have a different kind of methodology which can be taken in online. It can't be the same thing what you do in a regular class, but it will be completely different. And making kids understand over online is something very, very different. You have to make them part of the discussion. You have to involve them in every activity. So we have different platforms. We do have Facebook activities given to the children, which they can do along with the parents. And apart from that, we have a unique system called individual learning sessions, where every kid will have a 30-minute individual session with every teacher in every subject for at least twice a week. And there we ensure that they understand the basic concepts in a much better way. But that's actually a tedious thing for a school to do, and we really had a tough time figuring out a solution for that. But it really, really made a big difference to the kids' education. I know it's going to be a challenge for the coming months too, but I think Anand is really geared up to handle that in a right.
Absolutely. And Karan, I also have one of our partner, Mr. Vimal. He likes to also know on the royalty part of it. Are there different royalty structures, or we have fixed royalty that we charge from our franchise partners?
No, we have a fixed royalty. I think we are fixed at 12% of the total revenue. And probably, I think, Gaurav, are we going to present the financials today or?
Yeah.
Okay. So probably it will be addressed in the financials. Yeah.
Okay. So we want to do that, or we do that one-to-one?
I think broader financials can be presented. Anshul, if you can be.
Yes, sir.
So we will first present the financials, and if you have questions, particularly on the numbers, please do that. While this would change because areas can be different, and the broader, the fit outs and everything would remain standard, but the other variable cost can change, like rental assumptions can be very different from one city to another city, and that has to be evaluated. So broader financials can be presented. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Anshul, please.
So, okay. So in terms of the area segregation, as I said, we're looking at about 2,200 square feet space where we can create these 7 classrooms, each with a capacity of 20 students. And we'd like to put 2 classrooms each for playgroup, pre-nursery and nursery, and keep one for the KG. In terms of the overall investment in the project, we're looking at 20 lakh rupees total investment, and including 2 lakh rupees franchise fee. So that is the investment. We can get into the nitty-gritties, once we set up the independent franchise next week. In terms of the profitability overall, as Mr. Kanan mentioned, the royalty would be 12% of the total revenue, right? Apart from that, we have assumed rents at 50 rupees a square feet, which should be able to do as we're targeting tier 2, tier 3 markets. Some of the other operational expenses, and we've also taken a marketing budget of 4 lakh rupees in year 1, then 2.5 lakh rupees, and then going down every year. So year 1 would be very important to spend this marketing budget to get the right enrollment and get the unit moving. Overall, so this ensures that there is a achievable break-even in about 18 months to 21 months period. So well within 2 years, the center should be able to achieve its ROIs. And as Mr. Maria mentioned, we would need to look at maybe rentals. Different markets may have different rent values, different locations. And similarly, even the revenue potential would change from location to location. Uh, there was a question in terms of when can a center reach its 100% potential. As Mr. Kannan mentioned, I think 2 years or latest by year 3, the center should be able to get to its 100% occupancy, and the optimal numbers we should be able to achieve. So given that scenario, I think 18 months to 21 months, well within 2 years, in fact, the ROI's recovery of 20 lakh rupees each center should be able to do. Yes. I hope that answers.
Yep, sure, absolutely. Over to you, Sonia, for a few financial side.
I think one thing was also on the term of our agreement, and which was also asked by one of our audience. The term of the agreement and what kind of renewals do we have from prospective partner?
I think Gaurav, we are planning for a renewal agreement once in 5 years, right?
That's right. 5 years is a normal contract, and if you are in compliance with your royalties and you also are ready to put some money back on renovation of the school, because 5 years down the line the school would need the renovation. If you are able to put these two things, then it will be renewed for another term of 5 years. But in the first 5 years, the franchisee has to be extremely compliant, also to continue to show progress on their overall development of team and also handling of teachers and kids and parents. And if you are ready to put some kind of a renovation money, then it will be renewed for another term.
Last two questions which I want to cover, because there are questions around one on the training side and also on the recruitment side of the teachers. So how would a franchisee be helped on that? And the other question which I wanted to also pick is on the certifications or licenses which a preschool would require, while it is a part of an informal education system. So you don't need any licenses which maybe formal education would do. So any reflection on these 2 points which you want to clarify to the prospective investors?
Recruitment, yes. Our team will be there to help you recruit the right person for the right job. Based on the expertise what we have for the last 11 to 12 years, the team will be able to let you know the right candidate who can take the kind of model what we plan to take there. It's not like we take experienced team and try to train them, because this is a completely different model, completely different approach. And we always prefer freshers and where we can train them and make them do in a much better way. Coming to the training part, we have different manuals, right from the manuals for the trainers, for the facilitators, for the management. And we also have a complete training manual with regard to every lab. And we also have subject manuals which covers you everything, whatever you have to do, what is the objective, what is the outcome, what is that you have to do in every class and every day. And that will be given by the team, and the team will train their team in turn to get it done on a daily basis. And coming to the affiliations or licenses, you don't need to have any license or anything for the kindergarten. It's applicable only from the primary level.
Right. Great. And friends, if you have any more questions, you can put, because you already overshot the time, I will request you can also reach out on a hotline number, which we'll put in the chat box, and you can take a note of that. And we'll request the team at Anand Kids Academy to maybe have one of the days which we can set up to answer all the questions that you might have with respect to the business model or the city that you wish to take the franchise in. So any date, Kanan, that you think this can be done? If you fix any date, we can announce to the audience.
Can I just come back to you, Sonia?
Sure.
Fix a date which is comfortable for everyone, which is, yeah.
Sure. And friends, in the meantime, what we would do is we have our team members and also our independent franchise consultants who work in all these locations. Most of the locations I'm seeing inquiries coming in, we have our teams who work in these locations. So we'll reach out to you in between today and tomorrow. Within 24 hours, we should reach out to all of you. And We'll share the entire presentation and discuss the model with each one of you, and we'll take an appropriate time to set up a call or a meeting one-to-one. If you're all in and around Coimbatore, we can also have maybe a tour of the school, which can also be arranged. And before we close, Kanan, maybe a message that you want to give to everybody who's listening to you.
Thank you so much for being a part of this webinar, and I would like to extend my thanks to Gaurav and the team Franchiseindia for organizing this. And this is something, it's a dream. It's not for a business why we are doing this. It's actually a dream that we want to change the kind of education system which is available in India. And the primary objective is to cultivate an attitude that every kid should never learn anything without understanding the fundamental concept. And I strongly believe in that. If we start cultivating this attitude right from the kindergarten, then definitely learning is going to be fun for them till they get into the secondary level. So I thank you. I thank everyone for being a part of this webinar, and looking forward to see everyone either in Coimbatore or for a one-on-one discussion soon. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kanan and team, and you are a great team and very, very passionate about what you do and very detailed oriented. So we're very proud to have you as a partner. We are looking for a long-term association with you and your group to continue to build, sustainable education platforms by preschool, K-12, and I'm sure in future a lot of other of looking at your interest in larger education and holistic learning. And we will set up a date. We'd like to bring in passionate entrepreneurs. One message I got when I was there with the team and spent the full day, that they are in hurry but not in hurry. They are very well invested team. They're very well committed team. Everything they do is do out of passion and a very strong detailing. So even if they don't really rush into getting a partner, it's a privilege which they're passing to somebody. So they need to really see if somebody belongs to really same culture and ecosystem, then only this would be worth the effort to do that. And every discussion I had with them, not even a single time any one of their team asked me how much franchise fees we should charge and things like that. The only thing they asked me is that how do we really deliver the same values which we have within the franchise. And that shows the commitment of a group which is not driven from making education as just a business initiative. It is a responsible business. It takes in a great amount of responsibility because now you're bringing in careers of kids and their well-being and their future. And that's something which is very important. These are long-lasting businesses. And Mr. Kanan comes from a background. His parents and uncles and all started this, and the place they've opened up the school is actually is a city name under their company. So it's a Sharp city, Sharp Nagar, which is there. So they have much more values attached to everything they do. So it's very important for them to take a decision of building and expanding the chain. While anything which you have done, and that's what my message to him was, if you spend so much of effort to build something, why not others also benefit? So franchising can be a great option to share your learnings with a lot of other people who want to do that. They don't have to go and spend those 5 years to really step by step do that. There is an opportunity for them to get started right now and share the same values. So it's a great opportunity. We're very, very excited about this opportunity at Franchiseindia, and we'll host this one Discovery Day. And ideally, Discovery Day should be done at the school, so you can really come out and have a tour like I did. I got an opportunity directly from him to get a tour of the school, and very excited to see what they built. So if you are interested, please reach out to us, and we will be more than happy to do that. We'll host a Discovery Day sometime over next 10 days, and then we will take you through the whole journey of Anand Kids. So please, over to you, Sonia, for your last comments, and then to Archana.
I'd just like to thank the entire team at Anand Kids who came out today and presented the entire business model to our investors. And I'd like to thank all our investors also for being with us for the last 1 hour, 11 odd minutes. And as I said, our teams will reach out to you with the entire information that you see. And I do see some questions even coming now. And friends, we'll come back to each one of you. I think there's specific questions that you want to know. Our teams will reach out to you, answer all the questions that you have asked, and especially the ones who have asked questions are the teams at our end would reach out first. And with this, I'd like to thank you once again for being with us. Over to you, Archana.
Sure. So please accept our thanks on behalf of entire Franchiseindia. Thank you so much, team of Kanan, coming together and presented this model. Thank you so much, Kanan. Thank you so much, Raman, Venuji, everyone. Thank you so much, Gaurav sir and Sonia ma'am. Thanks, Anshul, for the financials as well as PPT presentation from your side. We would like to thank our dear participants who have joined us today for this great opportunity. We are organizing Discovery Day. The date we will confirm you through mail, through our thank you mails. You can book your slot for the same so that you can have a one-to-one interaction with the entire team of Kanan International on the day of the Discovery Day. Please do also reach out to us at our business hotline number, which is 97176-83838. Requesting each one of you to save this number in your phone book so that you get a regular updates from our site. You can also join us at a different social handles, information on your screen. Do join us, subscribe Facebook page of Franchiseindia Brands Limited, because we have the entire video library of all the previously done webinars and brands representation. Join Gaurav sir and Sonia ma'am at their respective LinkedIn IDs, information on your screen. And tomorrow we invite you to join us for 288th edition of this series, where we are providing you Shrika. That's a unique brand which is presenting retail as well as restaurant model. So please do registration today at same business hotline number so that you can join us tomorrow sharp 12 p.m. to join the journey of Shrika. Thank you once again for joining in today. Have a great day. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.